Hi, it's me again, and the BBC love wasting your money, don't they? If you got 3.7 billion quid a year and you had to spend all of it, because if you had any left over, people would say, oh, you're getting too much money. So you've got to spend all of it. When 3.7 billion quid a year is a lot of money. You've got to come up with some creative ways to spend it, haven't you? Do you remember the EastEnders set? That was an interesting one, wasn't it? 87 million quid, the new set for EastEnders cost. It was massively over budget, wasn't it? Over budget by about 20 million or something like that. The original budget was a lot less, but they managed to spend 87 million quid. How? Coronation Street had a new set built, which can't be too dissimilar from the EastEnders set, can it? They managed to do it for 10 million, which I still thought was a lot. They have to burn this money. They have to, or people will say, why are you getting so much money? You're not spending it all, you don't need it all. So what are they burning money on today? Let's have a look. BBC announces plan to spend £14.5 million on fancy new studios despite licence fee row. Seems cheap to me, 14.5 million. You're not going to get a lot for that, are you? But they have. I mean, I haven't been there. I'm going to go there shortly to the BBC. It's just off Regent Street, apparently. Some of the most expensive land in the country is where the BBC headquarters and main studios are. How's that work then? How's that work? If you're trying to save money, they're making cuts all over the bloody shop. You think they'd move to a bloody trading estate somewhere, wouldn't you? Not fucking centre of... it drives me mad. But what are they buying here? Let's have a look. The BBC has put out a tender for the proposed works to replace the existing facility in Maida Vale, which was sold to Hans Zimmer for 10.5 million earlier this year, after being deemed no longer fit for purpose. According to The Sun, the new facility at Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park will consist of 2 studios, visualisation rooms, don't know what they are, workshops and other spaces including a green room. So 2 studios, a visualisation room for £14.5 million. There you go. That's your licence fees there. How much is that in TV licences? Let's work this out. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm no mathematician, but that's a lot. 91,194 households in the UK are required to contribute to the BBC £159 to pay for those studios. BBC are making cuts everywhere. They're cutting local radio, they've cut news, they're cutting Newsnight, they're cutting 1,000 hours of programming for this year. New programming, that is, as well, so you're going to get more repeats. So they can spend 91,194 television licences on new studios. They have studios all around the country. BBC Studios, which is the commercial arm of the BBC, own loads of independent production companies and loads of studios. Why do they need more? If you're cutting costs, if you're trying to save money, use what you've got. Stop buying new stuff. In the millions, BBC. What's wrong with you? So it just goes on. In this article, the bloke from Taxpayers Alliance said the licence fee payers will be stunned by the Beeb's grand plans. I'm not a licence fee payer, but I am not stunned by those grand plans. As I said, they have to spend that money. If they have significant amount of money left over at the end of every year from what they bring in for licence fees, people will wonder why they're paying so much. But if they're down about 300 million a year, they're spending about 300 million a year more than they bring in on licence fees, because they need to do that to justify the licence fee being what it is. If they have money left over, they're going to get cut, aren't they? And he says, if the BBC want to fund swish new offices, it's to scrap the hated TV tax and let people choose whether to pay. If they had to make their own money through commercial endeavours like every other TV channel has to do, they wouldn't be buying these new studios. They would make do with what they've got, because they'd have to be more responsible with their money. But because they don't make their own money, they can do whatever the hell they want, can't they? Because they know no matter what happens, they're going to get another 3.7 billion. Although this year it's going to go up. So they're probably getting 4 billion. So I wonder what they'll burn money on later this year and next year. That'll be fun, won't it? What do you think about this? I don't work in TV, but it seems to me that if you're trying to cut costs, you utilize what you've got more and more rather than buying something new for that much money. But then what do I know? Let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments below. While you're down there leaving your comments, hit all the buttons and everything as well. Because if you do that, hopefully I get to see you in another video again soon, won't I? Ta-da!